Great. Okay, welcome to the webinar, everybody. I'm so excited to be with you tonight. My name is Eric Johnsoner, and I am the creator and CEO of Teamzy. And tonight we're going to talk about how to build your team to quickly 4x your business. My entire system revealed. So we're going to have some fun. Now, I see a lot of friends on this list, people I've known. Welcome. I'm excited for you guys to be here. And I see a lot of new names too. So tonight, here's what I'm going to do. I know a lot of you, I can tell by familiar names. I know a lot of you are already using Teamzy. So you kind of understand how my software company works and helps and supports you in the business. Tonight, what I'm going to teach you is how it's the philosophy and the system behind Teamzy. So if you didn't have Teamzy, I mean, this is, it's kind of like where I was 7 years ago. I didn't have Teamzy. It's like, so here is the system for building the business. I'm going to teach you guys the principles and the philosophies of how to build a business, how to grow a team, how to do it all authentically without being an icky salesperson, without feeling gross, without alienating friends and family. I'm going to teach you guys the whole system tonight. Also, at the end, after I've unpacked all that for you, I will talk about the Teamzy Elite Business Bootcamp. And I know some of you guys are in bootcamp or have been in the past. A lot of you are probably interested in learning more about it. So full disclosure, I will at that point kind of go through what's involved in the bootcamp program. So you'll get a complete feel for what we offer in that. Okay. And at the end, we'll do a question and answer. So if you've got questions that appear at any point during the presentation tonight, there's a little Q&A button right at the bottom of your view screen. You can click that and add questions to the queue at any time. Don't put your questions in the chat because the chat will probably fill up and I won't actually get to read that till after we're done tonight. So make sure you put questions in the Q&A. Sound good? All right, let's do it. Let's dive in. So here is what we're going to talk about tonight: how to build your team to quickly 4x your business. My entire system revealed. Okay, so let's talk about this. My goal tonight is that you'll learn how to grow your team quickly to 4x your business. I'm going to teach you the whole system. You're going to feel like you have everything organized and under control, and you'll have more time because you'll know exactly what to do each day. You'll feel great knowing your business is making a reliable income, and you'll never have to worry about where leads are coming from. You'll feel more confident having conversations because you're not approaching them in a salesy way. Okay, I don't know if that's a real word, but I use it enough that I think it is. So who is this training for? This is for network marketers and direct sellers, or at people selling any type of product directly to other people. You could be just starting out in the business. You might be a seasoned vet. You might be a team leader, maybe a busy mom, working professional. In other words, it's for you. Okay, everybody here, you're in the right place. And I guarantee you, you will get a lot of value from tonight. Here's what we're going to learn in the next 45 minutes. How to generate new customers and recruits like clockwork, even if you don't know very many people or are just getting started out in the direct selling business. How to effectively build relationships, starting conversations, engaging your prospects, and transitioning to a sale without damaging friendships. And I'll teach 2 little known Facebook message tricks to follow up and convert. Okay, that's a mouthful. Try to say Facebook message tricks quickly. You'll know when to send and exactly what to say without being annoying. Very few network marketers even know this stuff. And then I'll teach you the 3-step system I use to do all my income producing activities in less than an hour a day. You'll also learn how to grow your downline fast, help them succeed, and be the team they want to join. Okay. So if you want to grow your business in the post-COVID world, you need to know about relationship marketing. Now, look, in absolute transparency, guys, I was teaching this same system before COVID. But, however, I really feel it's more relevant than ever because of COVID, because we have been separated. We've been separated physically. We've been separated from our coworkers, from family members. In some cases, spiritually, we haven't been able to attend worship services. It has left us in a state of really desiring to connect with other people. Does this make sense? And that's why I believe this approach is going to be more important than ever post-COVID. Okay, so let's go on. So a couple of reminders as we get started. I highly suggest you turn off your phone. We have a lot to cover, and it can be very distracting if you're like me. It can be very distracting, unless, of course, you're watching on this webinar on your phone, in which case, keep it on. Okay. Also, take some notes. Get a pad out. I know you guys know I like everything to be electronic. So whatever you need, whether it's a laptop or whether it's a notepad, get ready to take some notes because what you'll learn today, you'll want to apply in your business. Okay, just a little more intro about me. Again, my name's Eric Johnson, and I help busy network marketers build their businesses. I've been a professional business coach for 20 years. I know, look, even in that picture, right? I have a little bit less of my white hair. It's all good. 20 years helping people build their business. It's been amazing. I'm also the founder of Teamzy, a top CRM with over 150,000 network marketing users. I've trained over 100,000 direct sellers from top companies like Rodan and Fields, Beachbody, Juice Plus, Isagenix, Plexus, Laval, Unique, Singular. There's so many, I can't list them all. And look, if you're here, you can count yours in that number. I'm excited to talk to you guys. Just a little background. Here's a picture of some of my kids and my beautiful wife, Lisa. Basically, what happened was I wanted to figure this out for myself. About 7 years ago, I got into the network marketing game, just kind of as a little side hustle. And I wanted to figure out how I could build my business in 1 hour a day or less because I didn't have a lot of time. I wanted to be with my family. That was the reason I was doing this. Can you guys relate? I also wanted a way to stay in contact with all of my relationships without having to plan or think. I didn't want to spend 3 hours preparing for my 1 hour of work. Does this make sense? And I think so many people get stuck getting ready to get ready that they never actually get anything done. And I needed a way to follow up seamlessly on interest so that nobody fell through the cracks. Okay, this is a huge problem. 80% of all of our potential business usually falls through the cracks in our area. Okay, so what I'm about to teach you took me over 16 years to learn, and it was refined through trial and error with thousands of my coaching clients. Given the time, I'm sure you could figure it out for yourself too. Instead, I'll just make it easy for you and give you my foolproof system tonight. So again, like I said, get your notepad out. One quick word of warning. What I'll show you goes against what is most commonly taught in direct sales. Okay? What I'll show you goes against what is most commonly taught in direct sales. Remember, my background isn't as a direct salesperson. It's as a business coach, helping people build businesses. And these principles I'll teach you are universal. It will most likely, what you're going to learn tonight, will most likely contradict what you've heard from your upline leaders. Okay? Maybe not all of you, but a lot of you. Okay. They may even warn you not to reinvent the wheel. Not to reinvent the wheel. But I want you guys to understand this as we get started. Relationship marketing is leading with love. Okay? Relationship marketing is leading with love. I love this quote from Mark McCormick. He said, all things being equal, people will do business with a friend. All things being unequal, people will still do business with a friend. You guys need to understand, people want to do business with a friend. That means we need to build our business around how to be a friend. Does this make sense? So to be successful in this business, you do not need to be salesy, icky, or spammy. Okay? You don't need to be. You don't need to be. When somebody tells you you do, no, you need to do this. This is the way it's done. There's other ways to do it. Does this make sense? That's not me. Sorry, that's not me. So what is relationship marketing? I know you've probably heard the term. It's becoming kind of a buzzword. Let's talk about it. First off, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. It's not an abstract feel-good system. It's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. I want you guys to know I'm not going to teach you some nebulous ideas today. I'm going to give you a system you can follow. Does this make sense? Yeah. And we're going to put people first. And the reason why this industry has such a bad reputation, I'll get a little deeper into this in the presentation, is because people feel like they're not first, but your transaction, your need for a commission is first. Does that make sense? And they feel used. We want to make people feel valued. Okay. Also, keep in mind, relationships are your duty. Relationships are your duty. You know, the main difference between relationship marketing and the traditional approach to this business is the underlying philosophy that developing and deepening relationships is the paramount duty of a business. Developing and deepening relationships is a paramount duty of a business. Your job is to meet new people and build relationships with them, and to deepen the relationships with the people you already know. That's your job as a business owner. Does this make sense? You guys got that? Your job is to meet new people and build relationships with them and to deepen the relationships with the people you already know. That is, in a nutshell, what you need to be doing as a business owner. Here's that 4X. People are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. People are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. Do you think relationships are important? They're 400% important. Make sense? Okay. So, what we're going to do is seek to serve first. Seek to serve first. I know to me, this stuff is like, it just rattles off because I've been teaching it so long, but I really want you guys to get these principles. These are huge. Seek to serve first. We actually have Teamzy t-shirts that we wear when we go to conventions that say Teamzy serve first. In relationship marketing, we serve and bring value first. Okay. We serve and bring value first before they become our customer. And by investing in relationships, people are much more likely to do business with us and to recommend their friends and family. Does this make sense? Yeah. I love this visual. You've got this motivation of helping others. I have a great product that I want to tell my friends about because I believe it will make their lives better, versus the motivation of financial gain. I'm going to tell anyone about this product so I can make a living. Now, think about where you've been in the past building your business. Maybe you're kind of in between. Maybe you're leaning to one side or the other. But typically, we're told, tell everyone so that you can make a living, instead of, okay, how are we going to truly help other people with this opportunity? And I also want you guys to know about relationship marketing. It's not simply selling products to your relationships. That's backwards. It's not simply selling products to your relationships. We build our relationships first. We serve your customers in such a way that they become walking, talking billboards for your business, right? 4 times more likely. People who are referred by a friend are 4 times more likely to purchase. And by investing time in providing excellent service, you will turn prospects into advocates. I'll talk a little bit more about advocates a little bit later in the presentation, but I want you guys to understand something. If you do this right, even people who don't buy from you or join your team will become your advocates. They will be excited about what you're doing and introduce people to your business. Okay. So we're just a little stop sign. Don't run over your relationships. Don't run them over. Okay. The traditional old school approach is to blast your relationships with cold messages and invites, hoping to take advantage of the existing relationship to get a sale. You guys know what I mean by a cold message or cold invite. Hey, I haven't talked to you since high school, but would you take a look at this amazing new product? Tell me what you think. Those are cold invites. And you know what? They hit like a lead balloon when people get those. This destroys trust. It damages relationships and it leaves you feeling icky. How many of you guys, can you guys relate? How many of you guys have felt icky sending cold messages, but you felt like that's what you're supposed to be doing? Yeah. So let's just compare this going for no. And what do I mean by going for no? That's the concept that, man, you should just ask everybody. And it doesn't matter if 99% of them say no, because those no's are getting you closer to a yes. Does that familiar? Yeah. To me, it sounds like 99% of the people I used to like that used to like me no longer like me. That's why I didn't want to do it. But the going for no is this idea of cold messaging, cold calling, purchasing lists and messaging them, blasting out emails. And here's how it comes across. It comes across completely self-centered. It'll damage your personal relationships. It'll drain your energy for sure, because none of us like rejection, right? I don't know if you're like me. I hate rejection. And it gives this industry a bad reputation. In fact, even if you do everything right, as I'm going to show you tonight, what I believe is the right way, you'll still come up against the fact that people have that our industry has a bad reputation because this has been done to your friends. And you'll end up wasting a lot of time on leads that go nowhere, right? You'll end up wasting a lot of time on leads that go nowhere. Versus relationship marketing, where we're generating leads by building relationships and getting introduced. That saves us time because we only work with those who bring us business, right? It's enjoyable. There's no icky feelings or rejections for them or for us. We focus on repeat business and long-term relationships, and it's more genuine and caring, right? I thought I had one more point there. I was going to say it's fun, but I guess I did say it's enjoyable. Okay, you guys see the difference there. So here's what we want to do is we want to create advocates. We want to remember that creating advocates equals generating introductions. And I mentioned this a minute ago, but as you invest in relationships, they're more likely to introduce friends and family to you. Even if they don't do business with you, they will still introduce friends and family to you when you serve them from the heart. Does this make sense? You have an army of advocates out there looking for ways to help your business. This is what happens. The people they introduce will already trust you because their friend does. This is the beauty of it. When somebody introduces you, they lend their trust to their friend. Did you guys know that 85% of new business comes from customer word of mouth? 85% of new business comes from customer word of mouth. That means people talking about you. And most people put all their effort into that 15%. They're like, trying to meet 100,000 people a day on Instagram. I don't know what they're doing, but they're focusing all their efforts to get to that 15, that small slice of pie. When the truth is that most business, a vast majority of it, comes by way of people talking about your business, relationships. So again, who would you rather work with? A cold lead, low quality, skeptical, they don't trust you, you waste a lot of time on leads that go nowhere, or an introduced lead, which is somebody who already trusts you, they're easier to close, they're way more loyal, and they're more likely to refer you again. It's a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer. Introduced leads are the way to go. Okay. So that's kind of our quick intro to relationship marketing, what it is. Now what I want to do is I want to teach you the system. There's 6 components to the system. Okay, 6 components to the system, and I'm going to go through each one for you tonight. Number 1, trust is everything. Trust is everything. Number 2, get your lists organized and prioritized. Okay, get your lists organized and prioritized, and I'll show you how to do that. Number 3, start conversations daily. Start conversations daily. The 4th piece is invite and share appropriately. Invite and share appropriately. Number 5, follow up like a pro. Follow up like a pro. And finally, number 6, always create introductions. Always create introductions. This is also known as getting referrals, but I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that because getting referrals is very passive, and we're going to show you how to do it proactively by getting introduced. Okay, so you got those are the 6 components of relationship marketing. Let's start with number 1 and work our way down. Relationship marketing depends on trust. If I could get you guys to make a plaque out of solid bronze and put it on your wall, this would be it. Relationship marketing depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Okay. This does not work. The system I'm going to teach you tonight will not work if you do anything disingenuous, if you don't keep your promises. Does this make sense? It depends on trust. But how many of you guys are excited to build an integrous? Yeah, totally. Okay. Here's the good news. Trust makes the work fun. When somebody trusts you, you don't have to convince them. You don't have to sell them. You get right to helping them, right? It's so cool. Also, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. When people trust you, you don't feel icky, neither do they, right? You don't feel icky, neither do they. You don't have to walk on eggshells talking about your business, your products. You get right to talking to them about what solutions they need for what their problems are. And finally, you get to go for yes. So forget the go for no thing. We build trust so we can go for yes. Look, if you're like me and you're like, man, I just wish there was a system where I didn't have to be constantly rejected. Ding, 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 you're here. This is the place. Okay. I didn't want to be constantly rejected. And what's funny is some of you guys know the story, and I know I'm not supposed to go off on tangents, supposed to stay on my presentation, but some of you guys know the story. My background is as a business consultant, small business, worked with a lot of real estate professionals, just about every business you can imagine, except for network marketing. When I started doing the network marketing thing, I didn't know what I was doing, but I mean, as far as that business model, I just knew that I was building relationships, and I ranked up pretty quickly. And in my first month, I got to a rank in my company where corporate called, and I now had a salesperson at corporate supporting me, right? And so they put me in a group of other professionals at my level, and we started doing these Zooms to like brainstorm, right? And so I come into this group, there's 25 amazing people, all of whom have way more experience, some of them several years in the business than me. And they're in the midst of a go for no challenge. And they're like, welcome, Eric, to the group. We're doing go for no challenge. We're gonna go for 100 no's a day. I'm like, what? That's insanity. You want to get rejected 100 times? I don't think I can make it through one day. So anyways, I didn't do that. I just kept doing my thing. Does that make sense? And I'm going to show you guys how much fun it is going for yes instead of going for no. But that was my first experience. And that's when I realized, you guys, that this industry needs help with relationship marketing. I could not believe that 25 intelligent people were willing to do that. They just didn't know any better. So how do you build trust? Trust is something you have to build. You have to earn it, right? There's 4 essential ingredients to building trust. Okay. And this is what they are: chemistry, character, competence, consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. All right, let's go through these. Number 1, chemistry. Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Chemistry is where you have common ground with someone. What is it about you they can relate to? Okay. Remember the very first thing I taught you tonight. People want to do business with friend. They want to do business with a friend. The other side of that coin is nobody wants to do business with someone they don't like. So your first job is to build some rapport, ask some questions. What is the chemistry between you? What do you have in common with somebody? Just find out. It's really quick. Sometimes their social media can give you clues to this, but it's important that we build that rapport and that chemistry right away. Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. So I want you to notice something about this. You don't have character. Look at this definition. Character is not something you have. It's something you do. Character is a decision that you make on a daily basis to show other people how much you care about them. Does this make sense? And this is the most important thing you can do in your business, is to demonstrate your care for others consistently so they know your character. This comes down to how you communicate with prospects and customers, right? Your follow-up, the service you provide, but it's beyond your business. It's how you show up on social media. Are you posting for your own self-gratification, or are you posting to help others who are following you? How are you taking care of others out in the world? Do you take care of service people with kindness? Do you tip well? Are you returning the shopping cart in the Target parking lot? Right? Are you driving with courtesy on the highways? These are important things, and all of them build your character and show your care to other people. You need to be 100% intentional about showing your character. We cannot rest on our laurels and say, well, I've been a good person, so I have character. Character is what you're doing right now, today. Does this make sense? And people will see that and they will want to do business with you, and they will trust doing business with you because they know your character. Does it make sense? So I want you guys to really be conscious about this. Go out of your way. Now, I joke about returning the shopping cart at Target and things like that. That's just a pet peeve, right? People leave those shopping carts out in the middle of the parking lot. But it is important that we think about this. And I always joke about, when I say, do you drive with courtesy on the highways? Look, if you have trouble, like if you're super aggressive and you cut people off and things like that, and you want to do better, here's one little tip that will help you be better at that, is you put a statement of faith on your car, like a bumper sticker or a license plate cover or something. Right? Because now you've added a layer of accountability. So, if you've got something on there that says praise God and you're acting like somebody else, maybe that's incongruous, right? So things like that always help. I always joke about it. My wife's license plate is a what do you call that? A vanity plate. It's a vanity plate, and it's letters and numbers, and it spells out faith, hope, and love, right? Her license plate. And I always say this: there's no speeding or abruptly changing lanes in your car because the license plate, right? So we have to be very courteous of others. But seriously, you guys, I joke a little bit, but character is huge. Character is important. And if you want people to trust you, you want to build a relationship-based business, you have to be very intentional about this, about building your character and showing how much you care. Number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Okay, competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. Just very simply, why should I use you? Why should you be my rep? Right? Do you understand your products? Do you understand my problems? Do you know how your products can help me with my problems? Right? I need to know you're competent. And if I've known you since we were 8 years old and I've seen you with your pants on backwards, how do I know that you suddenly are competent in this area? Does this make sense? So it's important that you demonstrate this constantly. With me, some of you guys know my backstory. I was a Beachbody coach before Teamzy took off, and I was kind of I was kind of the overweight guy. I used to smoke. I just had an unhealthy lifestyle, And then suddenly I'm like a health coach. People are like, yeah, right. It took me a little while to build that trust and showing them that I was competent. And what I did, guys, and this is what I encourage you to do, is I just shared my journey. I just learned this. Hey guys, I just learned how important it is, to eat more fruits and vegetables. And this is why. Did you know that you need to be better hydrated? I just learned this. So share as you're starting. Does this make sense? As you're starting out, share constantly so people can see your competence building. So they'll trust you. Make sense? And learn and just learn at the feet of your mentors, people in your upline who have had success. Like anything you can do to learn from them, pick their brains, and shortcut your learning process helps. The second piece of this is, why should I join your team? Maybe I'll use you as my consultant so I can buy my products because you seem pretty competent, but how do I know you can help me build a team, be successful at this business? Right? How do I know that? And this is, again, the same thing. I need to see your competence. You need to show me where you're succeeding. And if you're new to the business, it's okay. I don't want you to fake it. Remember, faking is disingenuous. If you do anything disingenuous, the system is out. Doesn't work. Don't fake it. But you can tell stories about your upline. You can share their successes. You can let people know who you are associated with. You share their competence as you're getting started, and share your journey. If you started this week and you got a fat quick start bonus, let people know that. That's a success milestone. Let people know that you won a free backpack this week because you helped 3 people or whatever it is. Even the small milestones are impressive. Does this make sense? So make sure you're sharing your competence in the business as well, and let people know who you're associated with, so that if they were to join you, they wouldn't just be you, right? It would also be your mentors. So let people know the competence of your team. It's important. It's huge. It's huge. Remember, people don't really care that much about your brand. Sorry, anybody corporate on this call, I'm sorry. It's kind of true. They care more about your relationship and whether they can trust you. Make sense? Okay. And before I jump to number 4, I just want to kind of give you a principle behind this. When someone's going to do business with you, they really only care about 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Now, real quick, you guys, these aren't questions people will ask out loud. They'll just feel them in their hearts. Does this make sense? But I want you guys to understand something. This is a crucial moment. If they're not sure about any of these, they'll raise objections. Have you guys ever had objections raised? Of course. But it's okay. Objections are a good thing, right? And we'll talk about boot camp at the end, but that's one of the things we talk about in boot camp is how to overcome objections. Objections are a good thing. But if they're not sure, they'll raise objections. If they know for a fact that one of these is a no, they will never do business with you. Right? Now think about somebody that you swore not to do business with. It was one of these things. So if they think one of these is a no, they won't ever do business with you. And not only that, they're very likely to tell other people not to do business with you too. So this is really important that we communicate this, that people understand by the way we treat them, that they can trust us, that we do care about them and we're good at what we do. Does this make sense? Now, if somebody feels all 3 of these are a yes, you now have an advocate. You have somebody who will go out of their way to tell other people about you and your business, right? And after this training, they'll even be introducing you because I'm going to teach you how to do it. Okay, number 4, consistency. This is where the work comes in. Sorry, guys, you got to do everything I just told you consistently. Being consistent is the most effective way to build trust. Being consistent is the most effective way to build trust. You got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. You got to be a product of your product on a daily basis. How many of you guys are a product of your product on a daily basis? You have to be consistent sharing your journey. You can't do this secretly and expect people to join you. You got to be out on social media telling people what you're doing, right? Sharing consistently, working on it. Does it make sense? But even more important than these things, social media, product, your product, things like that, are you consistently in touch with your relationships? Are you consistently in touch with your relationships? This is the most important thing when it comes to building a business. Are you consistently in touch with your relationships? You need to understand that relationship building is a contact sport, which means you got to be in regular contact with people. But I know your time is scarce. I'm going to show you my system, which makes it super easy. But the bottom line is, if you want to build a system, if you want to build a business that's based on relationships. You need to be in regular contact with people. That's how you build relationships. I want you guys to get this principle really quickly, and then we'll dive into the next piece of relationship marketing. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Investing time and connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, I'm just going to jump out real quick so you guys can see my face for a second, because I just want to give you an example to think about this. And I know some of you guys have heard me give this example again before, but hopefully hearing it again will really cement it for you. How many of you have ever received like a great card or letter from somebody that you love, right? And it had that handwritten note inside. And then when you read that note, it was like, oh man, it just got you in the heart, right? Hopefully everybody, right? Some of you might have even got one just recently on Valentine's Day. So you probably thought of one or maybe a couple when I asked you that question. The next question is, did you save it? Did you save it? How many of you guys save special cards like that? You've got a stash somewhere where you keep them. Isn't that amazing? We all do this. We all do this. And I know we've got people from all over the world in this call tonight, and I have done a similar training to this in basically every English-speaking corner of the world. And everybody does this. They save those cards. In fact, when we pass on, often our family treasures the cards and letters that we receive more than anything. It has a lasting impact, doesn't it? Now, here's another example. Real quick, just on this, I want you guys to get this. This is a happy birthday postcard that I received. You guys see that? It's a little postcard. This one's from my life insurance salesperson. It was nice. It's nice that he sent me that, right? Yeah, he sent me a postcard. It said it was a happy birthday postcard. Now, when do you guys ever get these from people you do business with, maybe, or yeah? What happens to these? Do these get saved? Do you put these in the special place? Do you stash these for later, right? Does anyone have one of these happy birthday postcards as a bookmark in their family Bible? Of course not. We don't keep these. We throw these away. Now, why does this have no value? And the handwritten card we save forever. We treasure it. Now, just think about that principle that I taught you guys. Investing time is the first piece. This is a bulk mail out. It required no investment of time. The fact that they invested no time personally in this means we don't value it. The second piece of that principle is connecting personally. Connecting personally. This is impersonal. This is, again, bulk mail out. You know what? It doesn't even have my name on it. It says, here's to another great year of you. Bulk, generic. It's not personal, required no investment of time, has no value. Make sense? If you want to impact a relationship, you invest time personally, one-on-one with somebody. That's why I'm going to teach you guys how to do this tonight. It's important. It makes a big impact. It's very rare in today's society, and people are hungry for that connection. Hungry for that connection. It's crazy. Okay. I mean, in a good way, but it's just, we've been separated too long. It's time to really start making an impact in people's lives. So let's dive in here really quick. So you guys get the idea on that? Investing time, connecting with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay. Component number 2. So you got that. So that section was on trust. You got to have trust. Number 2, we got to get your lists organized and prioritized. You got to get your lists organized and prioritized. You cannot be productive when you feel disorganized and scattered. Can I get an amen on that one? You can't be. You can't be. So no more random pads of paper. No more notebooks, complicated spreadsheets. Do I have any sticky note people here? No more sticky notes. We're going to get you organized so you don't feel scattered. Make sense? We want you to get one list with all of your contacts. Okay? You need to get them all in one place. All of your contacts. I know you've got contacts in 10 places. Get them all in one list and have a system that leverages your time so you can be a power hour boss. Some of you guys know I wrote a book this last year in 2020 called Power Hour Boss. We want to leverage your time so you can be a power hour boss. And you must use a CRM. A CRM, by the way, if you don't know what that means, it's a software type. It stands for Contact Relationship Manager. Okay? A CRM is a type of software that helps you manage your contacts. Of course, Teamzy is the best one available. That's mine. We'll show you that in a little bit. Okay. But seriously, I know this is supposed to not say Teamzy till the end, but most of you guys know Teamzy is part of this deal, that I'm the Teamzy guy. So we'll keep going. So once you got everybody on one list organized, now we got to prioritize those relationships. Because if you cannot prioritize your time, until you have prioritized your relationships. Let me say that again. You cannot prioritize your time until you have prioritized your relationships. Why is this so important? Because 80% of your business comes from 20% of your relationships. You guys heard of the 80-20 rule? 80% of your results come from 20% of your relationships. So if you haven't prioritized your time to know who those 20% are, because you need to spend more time with the best people, okay? You'll be wasting time talking to a lot of people that are less likely to help you. Okay, so here's the principle. You should connect more often with your best people. Just to give you guys a quick analogy, and I don't know if it's in this presentation. No, it's not in this presentation. So I'll just tell you my analogy. Picture some fruit trees. I have a small citrus grove here. I'm pointing like you can see it, but just out that window. I have a small citrus grove here on my property. And I want you to picture those trees, right? And some of the trees are completely full of fruit. Some of the trees, the fruit's kind of green. I've got some trees where the fruit's already been picked, so there's no fruit left on the tree at all. Now, your relationships are like those trees. Some of them are full of fruit. Those are your best relationships. I mean, they're very likely to join or to make a purchase. Like there's low-hanging fruit. Some of them, maybe down the road, as you build relationships, would be great prospects or great customers or maybe even great team members, but they're green. They need a little more time to ripen on the vine, right? And some don't even have buds yet. I mean, those trees will produce, but right now what they need is just water and fertilizer, right? They just need some water and fertilizer. So your relationships are like this. They're like those trees. And so it's important that we understand where we stand with each of our relationships so that we can prioritize them. So I'm going to teach you my system. It's so simple, you guys. It's super, super simple. I use a 5-star system. It is so easy to use. 5-star system. We're used to this. We use it for everything. 5 stars. This is someone most likely to become a customer or join your team. I like to think of 5 stars as my best friends, my closest family, my favorite people. 5-star people trust me. Okay. And I'm going to connect with them every 30 days. Okay. Every 30 days, I'm going to reach out and say hello. That's it. I'm not going to try to sell them or cold invite them. That's icky, right? I'm just going to reach out to make their day. Okay. We'll talk about that a little bit. We're just going to make their day. So every 30 days, I'm going to connect just to stay in touch and build that relationship. A 4-star person, this is somebody that's likely to become a customer or join a team with a little nurturing, right? These are still close relationships, just not my closest. These would be like the green fruits, right? I'm going to reach out and connect with them every 60 days. Okay, every 60 days. Then my 3-star people, this is pretty much everybody that I'm an acquaintance with, right? These are my acquaintances. So this would be like 80 to 90% of your list. Let's be honest, you guys, you think you have 600 5-stars. You don't. 80 to 90% of your list will be 3 stars. These are all your Facebook friends and Instagram followers, people you kind of know. Okay. And we're going to connect with them every 90 days. Who knows? They might be the total stars of your team, but we won't know until we start connecting. But at the same time, we have to start building that relationship without being creepy. 2-star people are people, they're pretty cold relationships that we're going to warm up over time. And we're going to connect with them every 120 days. Does it make sense? Super easy system, you guys. 1-star people, these are the people that you've kind of like put in the doghouse. They're not people you want to talk to. Okay, give them 1 star. Sometimes you want to keep them. Maybe they're a past customer or they're a customer, and maybe they're just somebody who's a jerk, but you need their information for whatever reason. You've kept them on your list, but we're not actively reaching out to them. Make sense? Okay. All right, so that's my system. Super easy. And you need an easy and reliable system to keep this list organized. I'll share my favorite tool later, which of course is Teamzy, which has this 5-star system built into it. We'll show you guys that later on. Component number 3 to relationship marketing: start conversations daily. Start conversations daily. My mentor and business partner, Mike Lopez, always says your job is to start conversations. That's when we have a consulting appointment with somebody about their business, he reminds them your job is to start conversations. So let's talk about this. Quick reminder: cold invites end conversations. Cold invites end conversations and often friendships, right? Think about when you guys get those cold invites that come through. You're like, I'm going to avoid that one. People avoid it. I love that movie, Groundhog Day. Have you guys ever seen the movie Groundhog Day? Do you remember the insurance salesman in Groundhog Day, Ned Ryerson, that was constantly following around the main character, trying to sell him life insurance? And of course, in Groundhog Day, if you're not familiar with the movie, he is stuck in like a time loop. He wakes up the same day every morning and he has to relive the day. So every single day he gets pitched by this cheesy salesperson, Ned Ryerson. We don't want to be that person, you guys. We don't want to come across that way. Okay, and again, just a quick review on the go for no approach. Remember, it's completely self-centered, damages personal relationships, and it gives this industry a bad reputation. All right, versus relationship marketing, enjoyable, no icky feelings or rejections. We focus on repeat business and long-term relationships, and it's genuine and caring. Right? Okay, so let's talk about this. The first thing I want you guys to do is to get into the make someone's day mindset. So you're reaching out not to make a sale, not to recruit or to uncover interest. You just want to make their day. And if you focus first on just making people's day, not only will you get great results, but you're going to have a blast. This is going to be fun, you guys. You're going to really enjoy this. So what I want you to do is set a daily goal for prospects, customers, and distributors. So distributors are your team. You may not call them that, but that's kind of a generic term. So you've got your team, you've got your customers, and everyone else in the world is a prospect. Okay. However, your prospects will be the people you know. So I would start with like all your Facebook friends. And if you're big on Instagram, your Instagram followers, right? Get them in a list and start connecting with them. So set a daily goal and then hit it consistently. Okay. So an example would be, and this is an example of what I used to do in my business, which is a pretty aggressive goal, but connecting with 10 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 distributors a day. Okay. So that's 20 a day. 20 a day will get you to 150K income pretty quickly. Okay, year and a half or so, if you can do that consistently. Okay. And then don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Don't get stuck overthinking. Just message people to make their day. Okay. All right. So how do you do that? How do you do it without getting stuck thinking, how do I make this message perfect? What am I going to say to this person? I know some of you guys get stuck 20 minutes looking at their social media profiles before you message them. So I'm going to save you here. Just start with a simple message, just an icebreaker. Okay. And here's an example. This is an actual script that I personally have used thousands of times. It works amazing. And it goes like this. Hi, Jay, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day is awesome. It's so simple. Now, of course, whatever their name is, you change Jay to their name. Simple message. If you start with something like this, you'll get great results because people will respond. Remember, our first job is what? To start conversations. We need them to respond. That's step 1 to having a conversation. Okay. So here's 3 reasons to stay in consistent contact with customers. I know you guys get it about prospecting, right? But I want you to understand staying in consistent contact with customers is mega important. It's mega important to this business. And here's the 3 big reasons. 1, you want them to think of you as the expert. When you're in regular contact, you start to build that trust as the expert in your area. What is it? What are the problems that you solve through your business? You want them to think of you as an expert in that area. Make sense? Number 2, going back to that really quick, the expert thing. I just want to give you an example. If you were a master electrician, would you want people to know that you're a master electrician and that you can solve all electrical problems? Right? Wouldn't you? Why? Because you want everyone who knows you to recommend you, to introduce you to people who have electrical problems. Once everybody knows you're the master electrician and anyone they know has an electrical problem, who do they immediately think of? You. Does this make sense? So whether you're in the weight loss, healthy living, makeup, eyelash extensions, cleaning supplies, essential oils, amazing electromagnetic devices, I don't care what your business is, you need people to think of you as the expert. Does this make sense? So the first way we do is by staying in regular contact. The second piece is when we're in regular contact with customers, they buy more product and they stay longer on recurring orders. They buy more product and they stay in recurring orders longer. Honestly, we have people, teams doing Teamzy, Teamzy challenges, and they'll go up 30% 1 month in volume. Why? Because they're just in contact with people. They're just in contact with people. Number three, they'll bring new people to your business. Your customers will bring new people to your business, but they won't do it if you're not in regular contact. It'll be very random and rare. Make sense? Okay. And we'll go deeper on this in part 6, where I'll actually talk about getting introduced. But I want you guys to understand that connecting with customers and the distributors on your team is equally as important as connecting with new prospects. And I don't have time to go deep into the distributors piece, but the bottom line is the turnover rate, right? The turnover rate of people. You can impact that directly by building relationships with your distributors. And so that's why we need this system, so we can stay in touch. Okay, component number 4, sharing when appropriate. Sharing when appropriate. I know way back when I did Beachbody, they told me you need to invite 3 times a day. And what they meant was cold invite. Cold invite. I want you guys to know you'll get better results when you share when appropriate. Okay? When you share when appropriate. Imagine if, you're a single person and you walk into a restaurant and you see somebody across the room and it's like love at first sight. Oh my gosh. You're smitten. Would you walk across the room and say, "Will you marry me?" No. You start with hello, right? How are you? So I want you guys to know we have to work our way up to sharing so that it's appropriate. So what do? We need to ask questions. We need to ask questions. We want to identify wants and needs first. Can you imagine if I was doing Beachbody and I walked up to somebody and said, "I can tell you're obese. I can help you lose weight." How do you think that would go over? Do you think people would be excited about that? No, you have to identify wants and needs first. They need to tell you, I need, oh, maybe you can help me. I want to lose weight. Great. Now I can help you. You have to identify those wants and needs. Does this make sense? Invite them in, then invite them into a solution for their problem. Oh, you want to lose weight? I'm really great at that. Let's talk a little bit more about that. What do you want to lose weight? Why? And so I can figure out a solution that perfectly fits your situation. Does this make sense, you guys? So that's how we share. So we have a conversation first, ask questions, get to know their wants and needs. Then you can identify a solution for them. And so our goal is to share 3 times, but real shares, not cold shares, real shares. Okay. And then after you share with that person, you put them on your follow-up list. The follow-up list is separate from the connecting lists. Remember, I told you guys set goals for connecting with prospects, customers, and distributors. Once you've shared with somebody, now they go on a follow-ups list. The follow-ups list is different. You're not just connecting to make their day. The follow-ups list is where you put on your pro hat. Now you're going to show them what kind of professional you can be. Make sense? For the people who are not ready for a share, don't worry about it. You connect with them again later date. Remember, 30 days for 5 stars, 60 days for 4 stars, 90 days for 3 stars, and so on. You continue connecting. Some people you may connect with for a year or 2 before you share. That's okay. That's okay, because we're just going to be working through. Does this make sense? It's just like my grove. Some trees just need water and fertilizer. Some trees are ready for a harvest. Make sure you're tracking shares and follow-ups, and I'll share, of course, how we do it in Teamzy a little bit later. Make sure you're tracking. If you're not tracking, they're going to fall through the cracks. We'll talk about that in the next section. So here's an example of a typical day. If you were to do 10 connects to prospects, 6 connects to customers, 4 connects to team members, that's 20 connects. Sending a simple message like I taught you, that's 30 minutes work. Okay. The goal is 3 shares. So 3 out of 20 conversations gets a share. And then those get added to your follow-ups list. Make sense? Now, when you're brand new to this, some of you have never used Teamzy or done a power hour like I'm teaching you yet. Let's say you were to start tonight. It may take you a couple weeks before the shares start kicking in 3 a day, because you have to start building momentum in the conversations. But once you've been doing this about 30 days or so, then you will be getting to more consistently getting those shares. Does it make sense? And then what you see is that by Friday, you've got 15 people on a follow-ups list. So the second half of your power hour is working your follow-ups list. So 30 minutes connecting with new people, starting new conversations, 15 minutes following up with people you already shared with. Are you guys with me? which brings us to component number 5, follow up like a pro. This is where the rubber hits the road. You've done all this work, you've connected with people, you've made their day, you've had great conversations, you've asked questions, you've uncovered their wants and needs, you've offered a solution for them, you've put them on the follow-ups list, and this is where 80% of the opportunity is wasted in our business on the follow-up. We don't do it right. Okay, so let me teach you guys how to do this. You guys ready? Jesus, I'm ready. Here's a stat you guys need. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Eric, do I really have to follow up 10 times? Yeah, at least. And most people in our business follow up 3 or 4 times. They think they're doing a great job, but they're not. It takes more. 80% happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. And I want you guys to know, you may have an awesome conversation with somebody where when you shared, you felt so good about that share. Man, you got on your team call and you told your teammates, I have a brand new person. She's going to be awesome. And then what happens? You go into your back office the next morning. She didn't sign up. Right? So you start following up. I want you guys to know that it's important to understand that 80% happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. It doesn't have anything to do with enthusiasm, integrity, anything. It's just the way people are wired. Okay, it's just the way people are wired. So I want to just talk about this. How many of you guys are seriously concerned about having to follow up so much? Like you're worried now. I thought I didn't have to be annoying, and now Eric's telling me I have to be kind of annoying. Yeah, that's okay. No, look, I understand where you're coming from, and I was the same way. And it took me a long time, you guys, to figure out how to follow up without being annoying. Okay, and I'm going to teach you tonight. Don't worry, you're going to leave with that. But before I do that, I just want to ask you a couple questions. Do you believe in your product? It's right here on the screen. Do you believe in your product? Like, do you really believe in it? Do you believe everybody needs it? Do you believe that it could change people's lives? I mean, that's an important piece of this, right? The next question I have is, do you believe in your opportunity? Do you believe it's an amazing opportunity? And hopefully you're saying, yeah, of course I do, because those are my people. The people I want to talk to tonight are the ones who believe in these things, not just that this is a great way to make a buck, right? Do you really believe in it? Because I want you to understand, and are you truly here to help people? I mean, is that truly your heart to help other people? And if these things are true, I want to encourage you. We're going to shift your mindset, okay? Following up is an act of love. It's not an annoying practice. Following up is an act of love, because if you really believe in your product, if you really believe in your opportunity, if you're really here to help people, let's be honest, your products, your opportunity, they're not relevant if they haven't signed up yet. So now all we have left is helping people. And the only tool that you have to help people is your ability to follow up with them. Does this make sense? So when somebody comes to you and says, yeah, I want help, and you say, great, I can help you. And then they're not responding, right? You follow up, they don't respond. You follow up, they don't respond. You follow up, they don't respond. And now you're irritated with them because they're not responding, right? And so you stop following up. What you told them was, I didn't mean it. I don't really care about you. How many of you guys have raised kids? I mean, honestly, how many of you guys have raised kids, or maybe your favorite auntie or uncle? Can you imagine if you gave up on your kids brushing their teeth because they forgot to brush their teeth? I mean, honestly, how many hundreds of times do you have to tell your kids to brush their teeth in their life before they did it consistently? Kids are no different. Kids are no different than grown-ups. I just want you guys to know that. They're just shorter. It's the same psychology. I just want you guys to understand. If you love people, you need to keep following up. You need to prove to them that you love them. Now, here's the flip side of this is if you tell somebody, if you stop following up with somebody, you actually communicate with them that you didn't care about them, right? So we want to make sure we keep following up. So I'm going to teach you really quick how to follow up without being annoying, okay? And we're almost to the end, and then we'll do some Q&A and stuff. But here's the principles. Here's how you follow up without being annoying. You follow these 2 principles. Number 1, never ask them to do anything in your follow-up. Never ask them to do anything in your follow-up. Don't ask them, can you please respond? Oh my gosh, call me, right? RSVP for my event already, or finish your cart. You know, you opened a cart, you never made the purchase. Like, don't ask anything of them. Just be present. The second piece is keep your follow-up short, sweet, and written. so they can read it without opening the message. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Keep your follow up short, sweet, and written so they can read it without opening the message. If you can send it to them in a way so they see it on the lock screen of their phone, Facebook Messenger, um, text message, for example, or any other messaging app that you use where it'll pop up on their screen where they can see it without opening it, they will always read it. Now, a lot of times they won't open your messages. And that's not because they don't like you or because they're not interested. They won't open the message because they can't respond right now. They're driving their car, their dog's thrown up on the baby, they're cooking dinner, whatever. Doesn't this happen with you too? And so they're not going to respond right now, so they won't open it, but they want to see it. So that's why we do this for them. We make it easy on them. Now, here's what happens, you guys. Every time they see your message, it kind of lights them up for a second. They remember that you care. They remember how excited they were about your products, your opportunity, just for a second. And what happens is over time, it kind of wears down their subconscious mind so they respond. Now, most people don't respond even the first time until maybe 5 or 6 follow ups. I just want you guys to know that. Only 20% will respond in the first week. The other 80% will take a lot longer to respond. You thought you had them. You thought they were excited and they were ready, but they weren't. Okay, so you keep following up, you keep being present, you keep loving them. But what will happen universally is they will thank you. They will say, I'm sorry I haven't responded. Thank you for staying in touch. You will be amazed. And some of you guys, and I know some of you guys have been around the block a few times with Teamzy. I recognize a lot of names on this call. You guys can testify in the chat for everyone else. That's true, that you've received those thank you messages from following up a bunch of times with people. So we want to keep people on there. Okay, so just remember, most people won't even respond to the first 5 follow-ups. That's fine. They will thank you after the 6 or 7 follow-up. When you get that thank you, now they re-engaged and you're kind of starting over, but now you've moved them a little closer. And we want to keep them on that follow-up list until they convert or say no. Now, when they say no, you can put them, you just stay in touch the way we started, right? 5-star, 3-star, whatever. You're just staying in touch, building the relationship. You don't want to stop building a relationship because somebody said no thanks right now. Does this make sense? Because then you've proven you only cared about one thing, getting the sale. Does it make sense? So stay in touch with people. Stay in touch with people. Remember, some people will become advocates even if they never purchase from you. They will send people to your business. Okay. So you need a system that will make sure no follow-ups ever fall through the cracks. Again, we built Teamzy for this. I'll show you that in a minute, but Teamzy, of course, is designed exactly to work this system that I'm showing you guys. Number 6, component number 6. Okay, we're just about done with the system. Create introductions. Create introductions. Okay, you may know this as getting referrals, but we want to flip that on its head. First of all, reminder: 85% of new business comes from customer word of mouth. Now, customer word of mouth is a very generic term, right? So, but what we need to get from this is that it's not coming from marketing. It's not coming from corporate. It's not coming from gimmicks. It's coming from other people talking about your business, right? Okay. 82% of Americans say they seek recommendations from friends and family when considering a purchase. 82%. I know we got a couple people we've got a bunch of Canadians. I don't know the percentage, but I bet it's the same or higher, possibly even higher. Okay. Seeking recommendations from friends and family when considering a purchase. We all do this. We all do this. So just keep in mind, getting introductions is a huge part of this business. It's how we maintain and sustain our business long term without getting burnt out. So there's 2 groups who will introduce new customers to you. You guys ready? One are your advocates. Remember, an advocate doesn't have to be a customer. It's just somebody who's excited about your mission. They love what you're doing. They love how competent and caring you are. They want other people to benefit from what you're doing. Okay. And 2 are your customers. Your customers will introduce new people to you. Okay. And of course, your teammates will add to their own teams, which builds your ultimate team. But your advocates and your customers, this is where we want to focus to meet new people to build our business with. Okay. So here's an example of a simple dialogue of planting a seed. When you're talking with somebody, whether it's via message or in person, you just finish it off by saying something like this: hey, could you do me a favor? If you come across anyone you care about that might need help with, and know what is it that you solve? What's your problem? With me, it was weight loss or health, right? Would you connect them with me so I can send them some information? Okay. If you guys didn't already, like, take a screenshot, get that. Could you do me a favor if you come across anyone you care about that might need help with whatever it is you help them with? Would you connect them with me so I can send them some information? You're planting the seed. You're helping them learn to become your advocate. Now they'll be thinking about it. Make sense? Remember, your goal is not to get referred. You want to get introduced. Asking someone to refer you is like hoping they remember at the right moment. Does it make sense? And they tell their friend about you. Now the friend has to remember your name and know how to contact you. You're putting too much up to chance. You want to get introduced. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it in a second. But just remember, the hottest source of a new lead is your current customer. The hottest source of a new lead is your current customer. Why are your current customers so hot? Well, because they're already using your products and they love them. They're already using your products and loving them. They already trust you. And they're talking about your products to their friends and family already because that's what people do when they love something. Does it make sense? Now, remember that statistic that 82% of people are looking for recommendations from friends and family before making a purchase. Your customers are talking to who? Their friends and family about your products and you. They already have people who are ready to buy right now. Does it make sense? You just need to be getting introduced to them. That's what you need to do. So, quick example on intro. I know you've really been enjoying the products, right? Put in the actual products. Can you think of anyone you care about that might be interested in learning more about the products? But Eric, that's so simple. Yes, it's so simple. You just in a conversation, hey, I know you've really been enjoying the products. Can you think of anyone you care about that might be interested in learning more about them? Okay. Now, what do they say? Yeah, actually, I was just talking to my friend Bob. Great. Would you mind quickly introducing them to me so I can get them some information? Okay. Not, will you tell Bob about me? Can you introduce him to me? Are you guys with me? So, real quick on this, hold on before I give you action steps on this piece. When you ask for that introduction, just tell them how to do it. Whatever's easiest for you, Facebook Messenger, chat, group email, whatever's easiest, do a quick intro to Bob and I'll take it from there. Okay? This is so important. I wish I had more time to do it, but it's that simple, you guys. If you talk to your favorite people, your favorite customers, and you use that quick dialogue I gave you, you'll start getting introductions to new people. You'll be amazed how it works. Then you can message me and tell me, "Oh my gosh, Eric, it was so great. I just got a bunch of customers. Thanks for the webinar." Quick action steps, and these are not action steps for the whole 6 steps, just for step number 6. Stay in consistent contact with your advocates and customers and always plant seeds. Like I showed you, always plant seeds. Ask them to introduce you to people and then follow up like a pro, like I taught you. Follow up with the people they introduced you to and always circle back and tell your customer what happened with the person they recommended to you. Okay, so quick review of the system, leading with love. Again, you need an organized and prioritized list in a CRM. Of course, Teamzy is the best one for you. Daily targets for connecting with prospects, customers, and team members, building and deepening relationships as you go. Number 3, share where appropriate. Number 4, follow up on shares like a pro. Number 5, get introductions and not referrals. Okay? And then track it all so that nobody falls through the cracks. You got to track it. You got to track it. Okay, and again, just a reminder, a typical power hour might look like this: 10 connects to prospects, 6 connects to customers, 4 connects to team members. That's 20 connects. That's the first half of your power hour. Your goal is to get 3 shares out of 20. Add those to your follow-up lists. And then you should have, you'll have 15 to 20 follow-ups, maybe more, 30 minutes of follow-ups, and that's your power hour. Okay, outgoing proactive messages. The most impactful hour you can spend a day on your business. Can you imagine? But you need a system to put all this together. Otherwise, it's going to take you more than an hour. Does this make sense? All right. And real quick on this relationship marketing with your team. I want you guys to know that when you lead with heart, your team will follow. When you lead with heart, your team will follow. You'll be able to attract trustworthy, caring people to your team. And you'll never have to ask your team to do something you don't believe in yourself. How many of you guys have had to do that? Yeah. So let's talk about the past hour. Would you guys agree that this has been time well spent so far? I hope I brought a ton of value for you. And as you can imagine, I couldn't cover everything you need in an hour webinar, not even if we had all day. And I would probably try it for all day if I could, but I won't put you guys through that. I love this testimonial from Suzanne, who since she posted this testimonial has become a good friend. She says, Eric Johnson, you and your company are spot on. I cannot thank you enough. 3 years, a 6-figure earner with a team over 3,000 now. I think it's about double that now. And still is struggling with crazy written lists, a tried and failed index card system, and no Excel skills. Seriously, Teamzy has been the answer I've needed. Hallelujah. I could sing your praises all day. Our personal business is our number one priority, and you've helped me to finally have a productive power hour. Thank you. Okay, so here's some options. You guys have spent some time with me tonight, and I told you guys that I would give you guys some info on our upcoming um, boot camp. So the first option is, you follow the old school approach, cold inviting, going for no, risking rejections, damaged relationships, and burnout. This is, by the way, the option that 90% or more of people in our industry will choose. Option number two, do what I taught you tonight, but go it alone. Spend hundreds of hours trying to figure out your own systems to apply these principles I've taught you today. Or number three, learn a proven system and leverage ready-made tools for creating a steady stream of new customers and recruits, and learn from somebody who's not only done it, but mastered it, and do it without feeling like an icky salesperson or being rejected. I know I made number three look really good, didn't I? All right, but let's talk about this because I want you guys to understand what Teamzy Bootcamp is about. First off, it's a complete video tutorial program and CRM for consistently generating leads and getting more customers. So Teamzy CRM is the heart and soul of Bootcamp. And for those of you who've never experienced Teamzy CRM, we'll talk about it in a second, but Teamzy CRM is a software that allows you to do everything I've taught you tonight really efficiently. And you don't have to be a tech wizard to use it. Okay. So what Bootcamp is it's a 6-week step-by-step action plan to learn how to keep your sales consistent by always having leads coming through your funnel, building relationships by staying connected and knowing what to say and when to say it, following up without being annoying, and overcoming objections. Okay. You'll also build your team into a powerhouse, even if you don't have a lot of time. The program includes 20 training videos. So these are pre-made, in the bag, clear action plans, and workbooks. Okay. So we're going to go through all those training videos together over 6 weeks. Another quick testimonial from my friend Debbie. She says, I've taken a ton of training to rise above the pack and fight for the tippy top of my company. And I will hands down tell you, this is some of the best drilling and training that I've received. I'm so grateful to have committed at such a time as this. I didn't get started at the official starting point, and I was deflated about that and had a hard time getting motivated. But 3 days in, and I'm hooked. And I have plans of developing a habit that is going to help me be a world changer with these practices. The structure is so helpful. And I am so, so thankful. So some of the courses in Bootcamp, how to follow up like a pro without being annoying. So we're going to go a little deeper into the concept tonight that I taught you. We're going to just spend a little more time on it. How to leverage your social media to build trust. There's so many trainings out there on social media, and they're missing the point. They're missing the point of social media, that it's a way to build trust with your audience. And why do we want to build trust? Because that's the secret of building a relationship-based business. We're going to teach you how to get your current customers to bring you more customers. That little piece I taught you on how to get introduced, we're going to do a deep dive into that training. How to move a great conversation to a share. How to move a great conversation to a share. That's probably the most popular part of Bootcamp, is that focus on having great conversations and how to talk about your business, without being cheesy, how to do that. How to meet new people and add them to your team. People struggle with this, meeting new people. I've gone through my list. So we're going to teach you that. We'll teach you how to identify future leaders on your team, how to share your business with someone, right? How to actually get to the share. We'll help you uncover your why. We'll help you with time management, overcoming objections with heart, adopting the true heart of sales. How many of you guys are concerned about being seen as a salesperson? We'll teach you the true heart of sales. We'll also teach you, this is a new training we just added to Bootcamp, which has been really well received. We'll show you how to promote a new product launch when you're, or a special or a promotion, without, blazing a trail of scorched earth across all your relationships. Now, of course, the heart and soul of Bootcamp is CRM, Teamzy CRM and Power Hour. So we want to make sure that you're using Teamzy CRM. If you're not using it, this will help you find every contact, customer, and conversation. You crush your Power Hours in Teamzy, view and track your leads, get your team motivated, see your performance. Teamzy CRM, it's so, you guys, there's a little picture here I just wanted you to see. It is so easy to use, honestly. If you're not a techie person, you're going to love it. Okay. Also included in that is the scripts library. So if you're not sure what to say to people, how to make people's day, how to start conversations, how to reconnect with people, how to follow up with people, all of my scripts are in Teamzy for you. There's over 100 scripts. Okay. And they're designed for Facebook Messenger, text, or any type of touch point. I even have scripts on here on how to write personal notes cards to people. These are a collection of conversation starters for staying in touch, following up, reconnecting. You can also create your own scripts and save them for later in the scripts library. That's a pretty cool feature too. But I want you guys to know that Teamzy is going to help you know who to connect with today, and it's going to help you with what to say so you can't get stuck. We're going to constantly be creating momentum for you guys. Also in bootcamp, we're going to do goal setting on steroids. And I know that's such a cliche to say on steroids, but if you're a child of the 80s like me, it makes sense. Goal setting on steroids. We're going to help you with a strategy to uncover your why and to stay consistent. How to visualize your BHAGs. Do you guys know what BHAGs are? Those are your big, hairy, audacious goals. Those are the ones that are so big that people will laugh at you when you share them with them, right? We're going to help you set a game plan for success with SMART goals. And SMART goals are the goals that you can achieve in the next 30, 90, 120 days. Okay. So we're going to help you set SMART goals. And then we're going to help you create your personal business standard. So there's 4 different levels of goal setting that we're going to work on with you in bootcamp so that we can really make a game plan for you to be successful. Also with bootcamp, you're going to get to come to monthly live coaching calls with myself and my mentor and business partner, Mike Lopez. So the two of us will be on live Zoom calls. We'll teach additional content that's not included in bootcamp, whatever we feel is really relevant to you right now at this time. And then you'll have a chance for Q&A. You can ask us anything. A lot of people love the monthly coaching calls more than anything in bootcamp. In fact, the one that we had, and I know some of you guys are in bootcamp right now, the one we had a week and a half ago was unreal. People were in tears. It was so moving. It was incredible. I was just like, told Mike, I said, this is so cool that we get to do this. Bootcamp is kind of where we pour our hearts into you guys. So again, you get 2 live Zoom calls, Zoom coaching calls, in addition to the 20 recorded trainings. These are specific training ideas, sharing, Q&As. Okay. And bootcamp exists in a private Facebook group where we can interact privately. It's just people who are motivated and excited. It's the most amazing community. And I've got people who have done boot camps. You know, I've got one person who's done 12 straight boot camps, no breaks, because she loves the community so much. She loves being around other people who are motivated and inspired. And so what we do in here is you get to share your best practices, new ideas, awesome results, seek advice, get to know each other, right? You'll make friends. You'll make some lifelong friends in there. Plus, you'll get to know myself and Mike Lopez. We're in there every day. We post daily tips to inspire you. And then we expect you to comment on our post every day so we know you're active. We also help you find a success partner or partners to keep you on track and hold you accountable. This is a key piece to this, that extra layer of accountability. Plus, you'll have access to me. So, you have a question, boom, you can just post it in the group and I'm there and I will answer it for you. So again, just to break this down for bootcamp, I'll just break it out for you. Again, there's a 6-week training program, 6-week training course. You work with the Teamzy CRM Power Hour every day. We do the advanced goal setting courses, the scripts libraries in there, 2 live coaching calls, and the private Facebook group. And we've done bootcamp for 3 years. We've charged $297, which I felt was really a great deal. But now for 2021, we've got a special price. It's going to be $197 for bootcamp. So you need to have a Teamzy subscription, and then bootcamp's $197. Got it? Okay, cool. So here's the link if you're interested in bootcamp, teamzy.com/bootcamp. We're going to do questions in a second. Teamzy.com/bootcamp. Simple. It's easy to remember. Teamzy.com/bootcamp. All right, so 12 boot camps so far. Actually, we're finishing up 13 right now. Thousands of amazing people with equally amazing results. Each boot camp is refined and improved based on the feedback of the previous group, and we totally revamped it for 2021. I'll show you a testimony real quick, and we'll jump into questions. I love this one from Jill. She says, after 7 years in the business, I'd gotten to the point of feeling overwhelmed and frustrated with the go for no approach, using the typical prospecting language. The Teamzy Bootcamp has reawakened my ability to develop new and rekindle old prospects, helping me fill my funnel and enrolling new customers and business partners. I would highly recommend this bootcamp to anyone seriously committed to growing their business and leading their team to do the same. I was initially concerned about not having enough time for a 12-week training. Well, now it's 6 weeks, but soon realized it wasn't something extra to do. It was exactly the income-producing daily activity that I needed to be doing anyway. I can't wait to share what I've learned with my team and will highly recommend that they invest in themselves and their businesses using Teamzy. Pretty cool. So this is the system I wish when I had to start it out. And so many people tell me I wish I had this 5 years ago, 7 years ago. It would have saved me a lot of time with my family, not to mention financial success, right? But I want you guys to know you're still here, which means you must be interested in hearing about this a little bit. If you sign up for the bootcamp before the webinar ends, I'm going to give you a bonus. I'm going to give you a bonus. Here it is. I'll do a private team call for you and your team. So if you sign up for bootcamp before the end of this call, we'll set up a private team call for you and your team. And that is where I will come in and inspire and energize and re-engage your team. Okay, I'll teach them some of the things I taught you tonight, and I'll do a Teamzy demo. I'll get them fired up. We'll get your team on the same page, and you'll get to ask me anything, right? And unlike this webinar where you can ask me anything in a typed Q&A, I'll be live on Zoom. You can talk to me from via video. Make sense? Okay. I love this testimonial. This is just from the current bootcamp that we're in right now. I love this. She put it in here and she said, guess when I started the Teamzy bootcamp? And if you look at her screen from Teamzy, it shows how our customer count has grown. She says, I have not had one day go by that I did not make a sale for my power hour. It's almost become a running joke with my husband. I truly believe people feel loved when you follow up. Until bootcamp, many of my leads from November and December, I had not followed up. And when I did this month, sales. Yep. Fortune is in the follow up. I've heard it for 4 years, but now I really see it in action. Pretty cool. I really hope some of you guys, that'll be your story in a couple weeks. So bootcamp is my passion project. Just want you guys to know that. This is what I want to do. I want to help you consistently generate leads and make sales. I want to give you the tools to make you successful in 6 weeks. I want to help you become a true leader to your team. And I want you to know if you show up, I will give you 100% of my heart and experience. So again, here it is. Here's everything that you're getting. The 6-week training course. Of course, we're going to use Teamzy CRM, power hours, goal setting, scripts library, 2 live coaching calls with the founders of Teamzy, private Facebook group with top people and access to us in the group. Again, it's $197. That's less than a cup of coffee a day, honestly, right? To launch the year. Okay, so here's the link, teamzy.com/bootcamp. Go ahead and grab a screenshot of that, and then we'll do Q&A. I see there's some questions already in the Q&A, so make sure you load them up there if you've got questions. We're going to dive in there. All right, what is this screen? You have 2 choices, do nothing or invest a small amount and join us in boot camp. Look, I hope you guys know I'm not like the traditional salesperson. It's uncomfortable for me to go through all these slides showing you what's in boot camp, but I feel passionate about it. I know that you guys will get tremendous benefit out of it. So I'm not going to belabor the point and keep showing it to you guys. I hope you guys will take a look. We've made it incredibly affordable. The more people I can have in there to help, the happier I'll be. So hopefully you guys will join us. Okay, let me stop this share so we can start doing some Q&A. I'm losing my voice a little. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just going to put a lozenge in real quick. Okay, here we go. How would someone get out of their shyness? Okay, that's a good question. Now, Jennifer has asked, how would someone get out of their shyness? First of all, this is so much easier, Jennifer, than it used to be, because we're not telling you to go to coffee with people. We're just messaging them on social media, right? So there's a layer of separation. So it's much easier to message somebody than to go talk to somebody, right? If you're shy. But what I would say to you is, I think it's probably less shyness and more fear, if we're honest. And so let's look at what the fear is. What is the fear? And there's lots of fears. If I had time, I'd do a whole training on the 5 most common fears. So not all of us have the same thing. Some of us have fear of rejection. Some of us have fear of success. Some of us have fear of failure. Some of us have, right? I don't know what it is for you, Jennifer, but take a look at it and figure out what it is. But here's what I would say is this. Identify what your fear is, and then ask yourself, is this fear more important than helping people? Is this fear more important than helping people? Because what we're going to do is we're going to give you the tools to have conversations so you're not, you're going to minimize rejection and you're going to minimize hurting people's feelings. We're going to help you do things in a really authentic way, but you also at some point have to get out of your own way. Does that make sense? So I would say it's kind of a big question, but I just think probably the best thing to do is to learn a way to do it that you're more comfortable with and to keep doing it until it becomes comfortable. Make sense? Okay. Carolina says, "What if we have multiple businesses where one is affiliate marketing and the other is direct sales? Can I part them in Teamzy?" So that's a great question, Carolina, and you can do that. We have a very simple tagging system in Teamzy, so you can tag leads for one business or another. We have lots of people who do manage multiple businesses in one Teamzy account, so that is something you can do. And there's a deeper training on using tags in the Teamzy Help Center. So if you're using Teamzy, you can go find that additional training. Leslie says, "How do you handle responses to your daily connections that come in while you're in the middle of your power hour?" Oh, that's a good question. For example, when I'm sending a message to my third prospect connection, the first person I send a message to in my power hour responds. I feel overwhelmed when I'm trying to get my messages sent and responses are coming in so quickly. Great question, Leslie. Now, here's the good news. They're responding. So you're doing something right. They're responding. That's a good news. Now, here's my tip on this. My tip on this is when you're sending messages for your power hour, let's say your goal is 15 messages to send total. Don't respond to anyone coming back until those messages are out. Okay? So it's hard to do because you want to. You're like, "Oh my gosh, I've got somebody here who wants to talk to me." But what'll happen is you'll go down that rabbit trail and you'll never finish the power hour. So just get really focused. Now, what I like to think of is those incoming messages are motivation for me to go really efficiently and get it done, right? Go really efficiently and get it done. So try to stay focused on getting all your outgoing messages done, get all your proactive, connects, and then any follow-ups that you have to do sent, and then you can go back and have those conversations if you have time. Now, going a little deeper, Leslie, what I found I needed to do because I had a full-time job, 4 kids, right? I was trying to do this was I had to set aside specific times to respond to people. So I would do my power hour and then I had like a 30 minutes during my lunchtime where I'd respond to messages and then in the evening maybe another 30 or 40 minutes to respond to messages. And I had those times blocked in my calendar. And then what I would do is I would go to my messages, which I tried so hard to ignore all day. It's hard to do. And then I would sort by unread and respond to everybody. Okay. And so it's just kind of you get used to that kind of cadence that people, that maybe you have 2 times a day or even 3 times a day where you respond to messages. So they don't go that long, but you're not chasing them down all day long. Make sense? Okay. Rochelle says, "Will there be a replay available?" Yes, there will. Yes, there will. And I will email it out to you guys. You'll all get it. Okay. Is bootcamp free with purchase of Teamzy? No. Okay. You asked the question before I showed you the price. It's definitely not free with purchase. If you're still here, you saw me present. It's $197 tuition for bootcamp. Okay. So you get your Teamzy purchase, that's separate. You need Teamzy to do bootcamp. And then bootcamp's $197 US for your tuition to bootcamp. Tanya says, "Do you have anyone you can recommend once we join Teamzy that could help me build my website?" No, I don't really have anybody that could help you with that. All I know, Tanya, is that there are a lot of, well, I don't really know anybody to refer you to that. I was just going to say there's a lot of templates and things that you can purchase that are pretty easy to do to put something like that together. Andrew, hi, Eric. It's Andrew. Great to be back. You mentioned you changed the bootcamp. Could you highlight a few of the changes? Thanks. Hey, Andrew. Biggest change, Andrew, is that instead of 12 weeks, it's 6 weeks. Okay. 12 weeks. I love the idea of 12 weeks because I knew that if I could keep you going for 12 weeks, I'd have you for life. You would have all the disciplines you need. What we found was that it was really hard for people to stay at that level of performance for 12 full weeks. And so we condensed it for 2021 to 6 weeks, Andrew. So what we've done is, but we haven't removed the content. So we do a training on Monday and a training on Wednesday. Those training videos, you guys, are not long. They're not going to be overwhelming. They're not long like this webinar for sure. They typically run about 15 minutes long. It's a specific topic we want to teach you on. You take notes in your workbook and you get after it, right? So the biggest difference, Andrew, is that it's 6 weeks. We've also revamped all the videos, new content. There's some new content in there as well. But that's the biggest difference that you'll notice from when you did boot camp in the past. And welcome back. Dewo says, "How would I grow my business without being on social media to post every day?" Well, there's, this business existed long before social media, but I will tell you that social media will make it much easier. Social media will make it much easier, right? If you're not on social media, then you're going to have to figure out how. First of all, I mean, if you know a lot of people, if you've got a big list of contacts, then you'll be fine. You can connect with people via text message and things like that. Um, but you will need to get out there in the world and meet people. Social media makes it much easier to meet people because you can do it, while during your power hour from your office or your phone. Scott says just signed up for boot camp. Excited. I'm excited too. Welcome, Scott. Question: I have 3,000 team members. Where do I start? Personally sponsored, latest people purchasing auto ships. Great question. Okay, Scott. Personally sponsored and emerging leaders. Okay, for your team. Personally sponsored and emerging leaders. So does that make sense? So you want all your personally sponsored people in Teamzy, even if they're just discount distributors. That's cool. You want to stay in touch with them. Maybe they're only 3 stars. And then figure out who are the leaders on your downline. Maybe they're not first level, but the other emerging leaders. Okay. And then as time goes on, you ask your leaders, who's the up and comers on your team? I want to put them in my Teamzy. Does this make sense? So that they can get that message from the leader. It's very impactful. For your customers, I would want to stay in touch with all of your customers. If it's more than you can handle, then maybe you have somebody help send messages for you. But the customer list is gold. It is gold. Okay. And I know I mentioned it tonight, but just by messaging customers, you'll generate a ton of orders. You'll get people to join the team. I mean, it's gold because prospects, guys, how do I say this simply? Prospects don't know you or trust you yet. A customer, even if they bought from you 2 years ago, they paid you. They trusted you enough to make a purchase. They already trust you more than a prospect. Does this make sense? A canceled customer is a much better prospect than a new prospect. I know you don't think of it that way, but you got to understand, most of you represent consumable products, which means people cancel. It doesn't mean they don't want a product ever again. It just means that they had a supply. Right. And so when you reach out, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you reached out. I've been thinking about how I need more of that product. So hopefully that helps, Scott, to get you started. And again, once boot camp gets started, of course, you'll be able to ask more specific questions. We can drill into it a little bit more. Ted says, how do you recommend keeping your calendar so tight when you jump on a call with a prospect and it runs 30 plus minutes? Well, as you can tell, I tend to run over. So I always booked an hour when I needed 30 minutes. That's how I did it. So when I had a full-time job, I wasn't able to have great conversations with people in the middle of the day because I had a full-time job. When I left my job to build my business, then I booked, I had like 4 hours a day that I booked to put in calls and Zooms, right, with people, with prospects. So I had more time. So you have to use the time you have, but the best thing to do is if you don't have, if you can't spill over to the next 30 minutes, use the last 2 minutes of that 30 to schedule the next conversation, right? Like, I'm so sorry, I got to get running here. I have another appointment. Maybe we can connect again later today or tomorrow, right? And set a new appointment to finish the conversation. That would be my best recommendation. And if you are able to book a full hour when you need 30 minutes, that's what I always did. And that really helped. Okay. Karen says, I was a little confused on shares. How do you identify them and where they come from? Yeah, I know, Sharon. I know, Karen. I didn't have time to give you the full juice on that. We do spend a whole week on this in boot camp. So shares are when I share. So there's 2 shares, basically. People are always like, is this a share? Is this a share? There's 2 things that I count as a share. If I share my business opportunity with you and I show it to you, like, this is the business opportunity, you can join here. These are the kits you can buy. And this is how you can build your business. That's a share. I've shared my business opportunity. The other way I can share with you is to share a product solution. So when you say, oh, this is my problem, I struggle with this, and I say, okay, perfect. I've asked some questions, I've clarified what your goals are and what your needs are. And I said, I think I have a solution for you. These are the products, or this is the kit that I recommend you purchase. That's a share. Make sense? So having a conversation, just chit-chatting, talking about our kids, getting caught up is connecting and building relationship. The share is where I've uncovered some interest, and now I've taken you down a road where I've actually shared a solution with you. Does that make sense? Okay. How many hours each day is the boot camp in the 6 weeks? Is it Monday to Friday only? So it's 1 hour a day. Okay, it's 1 hour a day, and then twice a week, you'll have a 15-minute training in addition to that 1 hour a day. Okay, you can do that training video whenever the heck you want because it's just going to unlock, so you can watch it whenever it's convenient to you, and you can do your power hour whenever it's convenient to you. There's no specific schedule. We just want you in there every day. Typically, we Teamzy is built on a Monday to Friday, but for boot camp, we do ask for the 6 weeks that people go Monday to Saturday. So on Saturday, you'll also be connecting with people, just because we want to create extra momentum. Okay. Deborah says, and Karen says she understands the share. Okay, great, good. Deborah says, I've imported close to 10,000 contacts between Facebook, Instagram, and personal contacts, so I'm struggling to get them all ranked before boot camp begins. I'm spending hours ranking contacts and not getting through power hours in a reasonable amount of time. Should I just condense the number of messages to send out daily until I'm through ranking everyone so I'm at least sending out some messages? Does that make sense? Maybe it's a silly question. I'm so overwhelmed, ready to get going. Okay, Deborah, that is a great question. My first recommendation to you is to reduce the number of people in your Teamzy. 10,000 is more than you'll be able to keep in touch with. So I'd like to get that number down to 5,000. Now, there's probably some duplicates. I'm guessing some of your Facebook and Instagram are the same people, right? But on Instagram, they're, Jesus loving mom of 4 dogs. And on Facebook, it's her name, right? So they look different. And I'm sure there's some cleanup in there. But what I would recommend is maybe take out one of your lists, like, maybe take out Facebook or take out Instagram for now so that you have a more manageable group to work with. Does that make sense? So that's the first thing is I would get it down to about 5,000 or less. Okay. Um, and the second piece is just understand that 80 to 90% of your list will be 3 stars, Deborah. And when they came into Teamzy, they were automatically assigned 3 stars. So you don't need to rank the whole list. You just need to scan the list and look for your best people. Okay? So just leave everybody as they are, 3 stars, and scan the list and look for people that you feel really warm about. When you see somebody you love, then rank them to a 4 or 5 star. Okay? So if that helps, don't look at every name, just scan it. Just look for those, cherry pick those best people so that you're starting at the best. Make sense? Okay. Hopefully that helps. Okay, great. And it looks like I got all the Q&A. So hopefully that was really helpful tonight, you guys. I'm excited that for those of you guys who signed up for boot camp, I'm so excited to be working with you. You're going to love it. And I'm going to love getting to know you guys too. Again, that link, if you're interested in doing boot camp, is www.teamzy.com/bootcamp. Okay. And you can go there and get some more information too, even more than I gave you tonight. But again, bootcamp registration is open this week. It opened today and it's open through next Monday, which I think is the 8th of March. And then it closes. So this is your chance to get in. You've got a few days to register. Again, get registered right now and I'll get you that extra team call. But please also consider inviting, if you're thinking of doing boot camp, invite some team members or friends for, sideline sisters or brothers. Invite them to do it with you. You're going to get much better results if you bring along somebody with you for that extra accountability. Okay. Team leaders, make sure you get some leaders from your team in boot camp with you so that you can lead the way and really get the team set up. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. We're excited to work with you, humbled to be here to serve you. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.